Hello. Oh, at last. At last. Well, almost at last. We think that was going to happen. So we're looking for... Well, hello, everybody. Welcome, 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 welcome to everything that could happen in the wonderful world of RC. Hello, it's me. It's Nick Damon. It's RC Racing TV. To my left, it's Matt McCallum putting on a hat because he's about to melt. Is young Ash Lantine and working the wonder of his fingers. It's Chris Circus there, who's been taking pictures, which you won't see Chris at any point of this live stream, but you will see all his output later on the internet. Yes, so we've been sort of officially or unofficially on air forever due to a timekeeping problem here where they were trying to resort the heats. They have been practicing since 1927 here. That's not yesterday at 7:30. It was basically they have had 3 days of practice already. And at the end of the controlled practice, they have split the two parts of the groups into what will be taking part in the Euro A's and what will be taking part in the Euro B's. Very happy, Matt. Have I missed out something important? Have I not talking to anybody? Am I too enthusiastic? It's very hard. I'm being mocked. Well, am I being mocked? I'm being just no. Indulged. I am being indulged. I just got so mind-numbingly disinterested in hanging around that we've got on air now, even though there may not be any action for many, many hours. But I'm wearing my new RC Racing TV T-shirt, so I'm feeling we can control T-shirts. I'm pretty good. So, do you know what we do? Let's say should we say thank you to our sponsors, Matt. So let's say thank you very, very much to EFRA. Because EFRA, the European Federation of Radio Automobile, are why we're here. And I also say, if you want to talk, put on a headset. Okay. Oh, I was just doing F1, F2, F3. Matt's now cycling through the cameras because he's making out he's very important, so he's leaving. Bye, Matt. Bye. Very important. He's leaving. We are expecting some action on the track in the next few minutes. As I said, they've had to resort the heats into the Euro A's and Euro B's. I haven't seen who has been sorted yet because that's being sorted as we speak. So thank you to Infinity and thank you to A Main Hobbies. And say people often ask, how can I help? How can I support RC Racing TV? Well, just click on the link in the description of both Facebook and YouTube and buy your Infinity products from A Main Hobbies, or buy any product you like from A Main Hobbies, or buy Infinity when you like. But just make sure our sponsors know you are thankful that they are supporting our broadcast, which we bring to you when there's cars on track. Obviously not at the moment, there's 3 cars in the pit lane. So yeah, it's been a bit of a delay. It now looks, originally we were going to be on air about an hour ago, and we were going to have 2 rounds of qualifying today. We're not now, we're having 1 round of qualifying today. It does mean that Friday is going to be a race fest. So we have 4 full rounds of qualifying now on Friday, and he says, the 2 super poles, and of course, a couple of lower finals, and then Saturday, if we're all talking about Saturday already, that's when the main finals are. Currently time to go off at... I've got a timetable here, not where the paper was printed on before, but hey-ho. Time to go off at 1:30 and 2:30 local time, an hour earlier, as the feedback from the PA pings into life. One thing you need to know about this track, and it's nothing actually to do with the design of the track, and everything to do with the fact that it is blinking hot. Not slightly hot, but blinking hot. Oh, it's lunching. So let me go slowly. It looks like it's a 4-minute qualifying period. Okay. They're getting 1 lap. I think they're trying to test the loop, actually. Send the cars out for 1 lap. I think they're testing the loop. And then they get the warm-up, and they get the 4-minute actual race part of it. Now, I'm not quite sure where the loop is. I'm slightly concerned. I don't think the timing system's been reconnected to the internet, because they reckon they're only 29 minutes behind schedule, and I reckon they're rather more than that. There we go. So they are going to roll round 1 run lap. This is the bottom heat. Can't tell you who's in it. Haven't got the information at the moment. I won't have the information either. Until the timing fires back up again. This isn't P1 Heat 9, by the way, either. This is going to be Heat number... Qualifying 1, Heat 1, this will be. Slightly aggressive French talking there as well. There we go. One lap for them. You'll see most of the lap when car number 2 goes out in a minute. We'll have the... there he goes. We'll have the cameras a little more close up in a minute. Just... that's really useful. Car number 2 just died on us. That's super died. Might have gone flat. Or overheated. So one of our cameras went black, which is obviously what happens when the cars are starting to go round. May have overheated, may have gone black, don't know. So we're not following these cars going round. We're still just waiting to see what they're actually doing. I don't think it is indicative of some of the issues they've been having with timing. One thing to just point out about the glorious world that this is, it is very, very, very hot here on the outskirts of Grenoble in southern France. Okay, track's open. There's no timing happening. Slightly concerning. Okay, this could be a new first. Actually, no timing at all. I don't think they're currently firing the timing into the internet where we're getting it out of, which is always an amusing thing to happen. Well, I've managed to clear that off anyway. Well, let's go and film some cars, Ash. Though I won't be able to tell you who the cars are. This is amusing. I somehow doubt they've updated all the information on my RCM, but let's just find out. No. So we are a little bit blind here, as we don't know who's in which heat. It's a, little bit of a test. Okay, so Bonnie, we haven't got timer. This is always a good start, isn't it? Now, they haven't actually started yet, so perhaps when they actually officially start, it might get timing. That's always a possibility. But you get an idea of the track here in Grenoble. All going to plan. worst comes to worst, this is marvellous. Okay, so let's have a little looky at the cars in the pits. So they bring out the tyres, as you can see, because this is a controlled tyre event. If you look at the table at the front of that, that's where the tyres are gone. So they get a new set of tyres for each race. And they're going off. So we'll follow the cars. I'm really sorry, I don't know who these cars are, but there we are. But we're following the blue and white car number 1 coming towards us now. It's a hairpin right in front of where we are standing. They blast away over the pit straight, round the sweeper into the hairpin, down into the chicane, coming down into the infinity hairpin. And they blast into the A main A. That's the broadcast hairpin, main straight, into the inner loop. And the chicaning now much sharper it looks, and Matt did an item yesterday, a couple of minutes, which covered the difficulty of that chicane in some detail. So we're off trying to sort out the who's who and what's going on here in this first heat of qualifying. There's a complete resort about 3 times during the 3 days so far, so they've had a complete resort. And we're not quite sure who it is. Let's drop back, where are we now? Let's drop back 1 car to whoever it is next. It's the white car with the black extension to the body wing there. Just going to do a little downforce on the rear. Of course, we are looking at the 1/8 IC track cars, 3.5 cc's, nitro-powered engines, nitromethane fuel mix, after all it always used to be. 4-wheel drive, usually solid rear axles and a one-way at the front, but not always. Top speed's around 80 miles an hour. And the goodies, I can tell you that car 7's leading this. I can't tell you who car 7 is though, so that's unfortunate. So I do have a Christmas tree board at the end, telling me who's doing better than anyone else. If you have a particular favourite you'd like me to follow, well, we can always do that, but obviously that kind of implies that they'll actually be able to know what we're doing. This is heat 1. Luca Samarkari, we haven't got the names at the moment because they haven't reconnected to the timing system. So until they do that, we can't get that information up. So as soon as we can, we will bring you the timing. This is qualifying round 1, heat 1. So we are just getting underway. And heat's the absolute correct thing because it's bloody boiling. Absolutely bloody boiling here. Just back off to the that big green one, the orange, yellowy green one that's coming towards you with a red stripe in its nose ash. That's car number 6. Going down the main straight into the sweeper, comes into the switchback. Accelerating fast and into the, oh, that's gone well, into the chicane. And that is the infinity chicane. Here's the A main carousel. And that's the broadcast chicane. So I've been here for 4 minutes, beginning to get an idea of, that's not where you want to be. And someone's going to have to rescue him because you're not going to get that out of the grass. Oh, I have a heat list, that's improved things somewhat. So I now know who people are, but we don't have any times. Hello. So I can tell you that the car that was leading was Gregory Fantan Blecourt. I think this is the ECB. Ah, this is interesting. Has the ECA gone out first, or has the ECB? I think this is the ECB first heat, which would have been Konstantinos Sarasakis, Vivian Fraze, Eric Managon. Ah, that's good. Take an hour and a half to get to this point. Got a heat listing. Don't know who they are. So they come in and come out at this point. So this is the so Alexandra Pepin in 1, Alexandra Delaunay in 2, Alexandros Anastopoulos in 3, Vangelis Infantidis in 4, Alexander Manto in 5, Matteo Forgay in 6, and Gabriel Malfoy in 7. They're just running the end of the warm-up. As you look at the front of your screen there, you can see a man at the bottom in the middle going through the box of tyres, because they all have a new set of tyres, completely controlled tyres before they go out each run. There are 9 heats of qualifying, by the way. This is heat 2, and obviously most of the big names are in heats 7 and 8 and 9. So there are 7 heats qualifying into the European A, and these 2 heats into the European B, and we'll explain more about that when I can be bothered. No, later in the programme. So this is the second heat of European B qualifying here in Grenoble. But it's about 32 degrees air temperature, about 1.5 million degrees air temperature, and on the track. And Ash is in a lovely bit of shade, but he may well melt at some point. Tony Martini, it's heat 2. Heat 2 of 9. It's the B heat, so it's heat 2 of 9. There is a issue at the moment with the connectivity from the into the timing. Seems to be. We had it earlier today, and it will no doubt come back. But at the moment, we haven't got it. So when we've got it, you'll get it. But we have this massive advantage now as we actually know who the drivers are. They've all come back in again now. To be released again after a 4-minute warm-up for a 4-minute race, which does seem to be overkill, really. So they're going to get released now out for the actual race part of Heat 2. So Heat 2 about to go out. Off they go, take the lead car, Ash. And so lead car. The bright green number 1 of Alexander Pepper. Going through the switchback now. He's going to come through the very tricky section that is the chicane into the Infinity hairpin. A bit wide there. Back up into the A-main carousel. It's not really a carousel, but it's good enough. And then to the broadcast hairpin, just beneath where I'm standing of the main straight. Through the top corner. And that's a lap which took some time. Don't know how long it took because, you know, much like you, don't have timing. This is round 1 of qualifying. 4 rounds tomorrow, so 5 rounds in total. We'll obviously have to update you with what's going on with the timetable. There's some issues causing the delay earlier with resorting things in, but we are now up and running. So swing round for another lap. Just drop back 1 to the green car, Ash. That is car number 2, and that is the machine of Alexandru Deliunai. Very early name massacring there. It'll be carrying on, I can tell you right now. He sweeps through now. I wonder whether Pepin will let Delay go through. He does. Nice bit of driving there. The dark green car gets past the light green. They're qualifying, so they're all trying to do the best time they can in that 4-minute slot they've got. Now, interestingly, that's not the leader. Apparently the leader is the car behind. Drop back to the pink car, Ash. That is the leader of the heat at the moment, which is car number 3. And that is Alexandros Anastopoulos. He comes to the chicane. Takes about a lap to say his name. A bit of smoke as he powers out of the A-main corners. Got a little bit of traffic ahead of him. In these cars. So a lot of power and quite a bit of grip, but not always a total amount of control with the drivers in the lower heats. But these guys are doing pretty well. And they have had 3 days to practice. They should know what they're doing by now. And still leading is this car number 3 of Alexandra Anastopoulos. So off the track has gone Alexander. I don't know how that's going to affect his overall lead or not. He has in fact dropped down to 3rd place already. So it's back to the car we were watching a minute ago, car number 2 of Delaney, who's leading. Just come down in front of us now and pick up the white and 2 orange card just beneath kind of a 4, Ash. That's him. That is Vangelis Ifantidis. Currently scored as 6th of the 7 cars who are going round. Still 2 from 1 from 3. So a problem for one of the green cars, but I think that's okay. I think he's actually finished. So the green car that ran out of fuel, which I think was our number 1 car of Alexander Papat, I think he ran in after the fuel. Quick question, yes. Magnus, is there a spec tyre for this race? Yes, there is. There is a spec tyre for this race. Ash, can you focus on the table full of tyres in the pit lane, please? There's a table full of tyres coming into view here, and those are the spec tyres. They are sealed. They're all standard dimensions and Shore, so they're the same number of Shore and the same diameter, and they are bagged up, so you can't stick additive on them. And that is the same for everybody. Everyone drives the same type of tyre in the European Challenge. In the World Champion, I think there's 2 or 3 different manufacturers, but they still have to be all bagged up and can't be anywhere near any sort of additive or anything. No ICM results, yes, because there's no ICM results. That's why there's no result on the screen, because we are pulling our results directly from my RCM. As I say, we have managed, though, very excitingly, to actually find out who's where in the actual heat listings. And that was the end of the guys who were going to compete in the Euro Bs. Now the people who compete in the Euro As. So this is heat 3 about to start. Heat 3. They'll get a 4-minute warm-up. So they get a 4-minute warm-up, and then they get a 4-minute qualifying area. Release down. So it should be. Car 1 is Gregory Fantan Blecourt. 2 is Evangelicus Totomis. Then Niall Cochrane in 3. Gaetano Frioli in 4. Emmanuel Comogiglio in 5. Yannick Raffia in 6th. Cyril Pagineau in 7. And a Billard Nate and Enzo Battistini in 9. So you've got France, Greece, Britain, France, Monaco, France, France, Monaco, France. So Monaco, not a very long run from here. We're near the south of France, near Grenoble. The RACG club. Yeah. Okay, back in a second. So you can listen to the engines, I'll be back in a second. Okay, well, things are slightly improving now. Thanks to Matteo Pisani, we do now have a bit of timing, which I can now look at, so I can tell you what's going on, hopefully. Now I've lost it, but I'm sure I can tell what's going on. So, yeah, so we have the live timing. At some point, that may join up on the screen. Here's heat 1 of the Euro A's, so the third heat of the 9, but it's the heat 1 of Euro A's. So I think a few things have been knocked out of whack by the resorts. I'm not 100% confident it's going to work. Maybe the divergence of timescale is completely wrong, but let's find out. Right, so getting ready for the first heat for the ECAs. Yep, that's going. So they're off and running. So cars will be completing, and it was we've got the first car going round, which is Gregory in the orange car. Frenchman, Gregory Fantin Bellacourt. And here he goes. And so basically they start there, they do a lap, and their first lap is started. When they basically do a complete lap round, they actually start their scoring. So actually Gregory is about to complete his first lap and has done, and he got a 17.1 in his first lap. As he comes through chicane now for the second counting time. Leading though is actually right from the back, Enzo Battistini, with David Billard in third. As they accelerate away again. Okay, so let's drop back to the next car, which is the blue number 2, and that is of Thomas Vagelos, the Greek. Now, interestingly, Gregory has gone back towards the top, and Thomas is in third. So the all blue car is your third place man as he comes underneath. These cars are so quick that by the time you've thought about something, describe something, you look for where you think they should be on the track, and they're 3 corners past it. So he comes through the switchback, he's going to power very hard down to the left and tight, keeping the car in line through the chicane, having to take a good think about that through the infinity curve. And he is being, I think he's being gapped, he's caught up quite quickly there by the 3, the green car. And that is the 3 of Niall Cochrane. So let's just look back to the 3. He has a request to follow Niall in the green. So Niall is looking a bit closer. I mean, this isn't a race, obviously. They are qualifying, so they should have their own space. Now, the question is Niall now pacing himself subconsciously to Evangelos Tomatis in the blue and white? Oh, and Tomatis goes right over and slaps the wall. It got the air underneath the car in the Mercedes at Le Mans sort of way, coming off a bump out of the chicane. He's gone now, and that means Cochrane has some clear run. I think it's still Battistini who's overall leading this, is it? No, Enzo's fallen back as well. So it is Gregory Fontaine who's leading it. Battistini was 26 last time, that's why they hit a problem. So we're still with Cochrane. That wasn't very good, just hopping over the broadcast hairpin there. Let's pick up the orange and grey car coming underneath us right now, Ash, and down the main straight. That's the car number 8, and I'm just saying that because it looked quite bright. It's David Billard of Monaco, and David is running in second overall behind Gregory. This is the first heat of running. As they accelerate away, we're running out of time. There's a minute to go of the actual time. Some of them have a bit longer because it's 4 minutes from the first person left, and obviously you have to do a lap and a half. So it's actually about 4.5 minutes of actual running. So Tomatis, after accident, was briefly scored as having retired from the race, but then he came back after a bit of a patch-up. problem with these cars is, when they have an accident, when they're going so fast, there's a huge amount of energy, and therefore there's a very good chance you're going to do some quite serious damage. You know, if you crash a 112 car that weighs 740 grams, even at 30, 40 miles an hour, you often get away with it. These things, which are obviously significantly heavier and often carrying even more speed, hitting a fence is often a problem, if for nothing else, just for the body shell, which ends up crumpled in a big mess somewhere. Korea Fantan Belencourt leaves. Actually, David Billard has just leapt to the top. So Billard, who we saw a bit earlier, has leapt to the top. We're still with the 8 machine, who's going to complete his time now, and that is Billard who we're with, so I managed to get with the leader at the end. So he's actually managed to cut the extra lap. So Billard's going to get 15 laps. Gregory has finished, so we follow Billard around these last few corners. And there he goes, and his time on the last lap was 16.7, so he wins that one with 15 laps in 4 minutes 15.3, won by a second and a half from Gregory Fantan Belencourt. Third was Noah Cochran, a fast 14. There's Emmanuel Comoglio in 4th, Cyril Pajot in 5th, Yannick Raffia in 6th, Gaetano Freoli in 7th, in 7th, yes, and in 8th was Enzo Battistini. Good start, then had some problems. And at the back after that big accident was Evangelos Tomatis. And that was your heat 1 of A. So you've had 2 heats of B, that's all over, and that was the first heat of the A side. So there we are. So we're getting there slowly. I can now see some timing, and if you can access it my RCM, you have to try and find the right one of the things, but there's now some timing there as well. So yeah, so there is now a version. If you go onto the my RCM page, myrcm.ch, there are 2 listings for this event. They put a new listing up. I had a problem with reconnecting the old listing after the big shuffle about. They put a new listing up for this event, which is giving online timing to the world, and so you can actually follow the results yourself. Unfortunately, due to some technical issues, it's actually causing us problems getting that back onto the screen. But I'm sure we'll have it sorted out later, and not by later, it's later tomorrow, and we'll have the screen information for you. And as tyres are handed out at the front of the picture. As Chris brings me water, which I certainly need. Probably not as much as Ash needs it, but there we go. So tomorrow we think we're going to start about 9 o'clock local time, which is, of course, 8 o'clock in the UK. We believe there's going to be 4 rounds of qualifying, but we need to have that confirmed. And then the 2 super poles and the small fires, a whole day of racing after this rather curtailed event. That's just going to be the 9 heats, sorry. So this is heat 2. So who is in heat 2? And the answer to that is, it's Massimo Aliprandi from Italy in 1. It's Antoine Gasquet from France in 2. It's Arnaud Chasseur from France in 3. Brian Poliseno from Italy in 4. Sator Cristiano from Italy in 5, Didier Parisi from Monaco in 6th, Fabien Deroux from France in 7, David Logliski from France in 8, and Alan Levy from Austria in 9. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 French guys, 3 Italians, and one Monegasque and an Austrian taking part in this heat 2 of the A side of 7, heat 2 of 7. For the qualifying here of round 1 for the European 1/8 Track Championship at the RACG Club just outside Grenoble in France. 4-minute warm-up is still ticking through. So, in a rather weird situation, there are 4 minutes of warm-up and then 4 minutes of racing. It just seems like a strange, and yeah, I think that's qualifying in racing. It's like a strange sort of bend in the rules, but most of the cars can't run much more than 4:30 on a tank. And they've also decided that we have seen qualifiers in European and World Championships 7 minutes or 5 minutes. 5 minutes obviously would be a normal number, but we think it's very difficult for a lot of the cars to get a full run around a tank full. So you're going to end up with this thing saying, do you just push it to try and get the 5 minutes and not stop? And then you have people running out or running into it's too lean. Do you run it 7 minutes with a single, where everyone has to stop? And yeah, more complicated qualifying, or you just have qualifying, which is just, you know, chances to put people in order for finals. Of course, it's Christmas tree, so you can bump up. We run it pretty much as far as they can go on a single tank of fuel, but then go full whack for those entire 4 minutes and the lap. So, waiting for the warm-up period to finish. And then we let out in order. So we'll follow the first car round, Ash. And that is Massimo Aliprandi of Italy with that yellow car with the, oh, it's actually not yellow, it's more bright green. It's difficult to tell on sunglasses and cameras. Little black tip to the rear wing. I think it wants a little bit of extra downforce. Not all the cars running, well, all cars are running little wing extensions at the back there, but it's the amount of height is a tuning option. And I think possibly the fact that his is black rather than clear Lexa makes it look particularly obvious he's running a lot of extra wing. Coming into the broadcast hairpin. And he'll get his first lap on the board into 17.1. Immediately usurped by the guys behind him. And then we've had everyone's completed a lap. Let's see how we're doing. And when everyone completes a lap, it is the fastest lap time of 16.6 from car number 3. So my guess is, Ash, can you drop back 2? Oh no, just drop back. I think probably 1 in here. Stay with the guy you're with. Yeah, you actually went. Never mind. That's car 4 with now. It's car 4, which is Brian Poloseno in the kind of goldy, black car really. Is it a silver car? Don't know. The car's on foam tyres, not rubber tyres. No additive allowed. More importantly, no additive available to be put on because the cars are, of course, the tyres are effectively in park firm. They do what you like to cars, but the tyres are in park firm and you only get your hands on the tyres when you come out to play for your heat. They're securely stored in bags prior to that. So lift around. Obviously foam tyres particularly additive is particularly useful in foam tyres. I mean, it works with all model racing tyres, but with foam it works particularly well. I think you can soak in, you get the goodness for a long time. On a rubber tyre, of course, you're only ever really attacking the very surface of the tyre. There we go, talking tyres, sound like F1. Compound B. till next year. Can you move forward one, Ash, to car number 3? Here's the yellow into red car on screen, man. That is Arnaud Chasseur, who's leading. Man, we were a second ago. Brian Policino has now moved into the overall lead. Arnaud, who was in the lead, is in second. He flies the car through the chicane. A little tail out action there. Dead straight, arrow straight. I was watching him go. So where I am, Ash is to my right. So Ash's camera angle, you can see, is sort of really, if you look at his, this is the infinity hairpin is slightly to his right. He's pretty much there, straight. And the broadcast hairpin is a little bit to his left. Doesn't look it, but it's a little bit to his left. Whereas and the actual apex of the hairpin is sort of almost lined up there. But I'm actually staring directly down the centre line of the main straight, and some of these cars are wobbling as they go up the straight, the power, and some are tracking true. And that car there of Arnaud Chasseur is one of the tracking true cars up the main straight. So let's see. Let's just drop back 2 again, or lots more than 2 actually. Yeah, just to pick up the car that's at the top of the track now with the yellow flaps, not well, yellow sides to it mainly. I think that's someone we've not seen before through the chicane. There's got a bit of traffic, fell off the track in front of him. And that is going to be, I can actually read the colour coming now, and that's car number 5, and that is Sator Cristiano, which makes me get his name down the wrong way. His actual name is Cristiano Sator, but you can never tell, but I say it's probably Cristiano Sator, from Italy as well. So this is the heat 2. There are 7 heats in this A class, so the big names out in 6 and 7. And it's a very good sprinkling of the European major drivers. In fact, they're virtually all here. Slight issue with Leo Arnold due to a problem with the French Federation. But you have your Kerrs Butchers, you have your Balestras, Sheila Groskamp, Robert Pietsch, Ettel, Dominic Greiner, they're all here. They're all doing their thing. Of course, there is a world championship in this class in America in the first week of November, I think it is. So they'll be prepping for what they can do with that. And this is the end of that one. It's eased back, and it was in fact Arnaud Chasseur who won, Brian Policino who was second, Cristiano Sator who was third, and then they've just taken away the results from me. Oh, hello, we're up with timing. So we now, as you can see, it's Q1 Heat 3, but it's Heat 3 of the A's, and we are rocking and rolling. So thanks to Stefan for that one. Great work by Stefan, the timer extraordinaire, man behind the fantastic graphics you see on RCGP and the fantastic graphics you see here in EFRA. So now you have all the information that we have. Oh, is it there? Yeah. Takes a bit of time. We get there in the end. So it is Damien Theron from France in 1, and Michael Salvin, multiple European champion, but many years ago, the German. I think he lives in Holland these days, but he's a German. Michael Salvin, legend of the sport from Germany in 2. I think it's Matteo Bassi in 3 from Italy. It's Gerard Collinet from France in 4. Par Yveby from Sweden in 5. Romain Delaunay from France in 6. Eric Loge in 7. Then we've got Marco Bianchi and James Connolly, as you can see, with their nationality flags proudly displayed. So 9 cars and a good spread of nationalities here. Germany, Sweden and Britain, in addition to the vast numbers of French and Italians who are racing at these championships. So with this strange 4 minutes of qualifying, sorry, 4 minutes of warm-up for the qualifying, a little bit of wait now before anything actually happens. Apologies. So we will. Oh dear, what's on there? And right, so it's Thiron, Salvan, Bassi, Colonnade, Heaveby, Delani, Loge, Colonnade. So that is the early timing up, and then I'll do. There we go, and they're off and running. So let's follow the leader, who is, well, the first one out, which is Damien Thiron. THI on your timing on the right-hand side. Oh, very nice purple and green machine there of Thiron. No laps scored, obviously, and you see the 4 minutes keeps resetting as the cars cross the line, because it doesn't actually start the 4 minutes, I think, until the last car has, the first car has gone over the line, starts it. So it's a 4 minutes timing on Thiron. He's going to pick his first lap, and he clicks by, and you'll see it's a 16.690. And that one down to 1,000 a second. Michael Salvan actually has managed to get the fastest time of the first lap. Got back one car to the pink car, that is Salvan. Obviously a bit of a rattle can right one, the Serpent designer, Michael. Bit of a legend of the RC world is Salvan. Still leading off for 2 laps. Quite low down qualifying, so certainly has had some little bit of struggle over the first 11.5 months of this event. As he sweeps onto the infield now, got to think about how he's going to dispatch or get past Thiron. Sorry about that. It's like finger trouble on the cameras. So Salvan now the pink car. Trying to catch up Thiron. Salvan leading this, the Serpent designer in the pink machine. Thiron currently running in 3rd, but we'll have to find a way of letting Michael round and through in the next couple of corners. Oh, and Michael makes a very unexpected mistake there, flew right off the end of the corner. And so he now will have lost the lead, and currently who was in 2nd, I think was probably might be James Conley of Great Britain, might end up moving in 3rd, but let's find out. Salvan lost about 4 seconds of that error, and has dropped down the field to about 5th or 6th. Both Conley and Bassi are running late. So the leader is now Thiron, who we've followed before. Let's see if we can move forward to the blue car that's going to go underneath for any second now, Ash. That's the number 9 car of James Connolly. As a helicopter goes over us. So this heat, even though it's a qualifying heat, it's the first one that's resembling a bit of a race, actually. I think it's perhaps some people are out of position in this one. Pre-qualified badly into the heats and may need a little bit. The car behind Connolly, you can see, was desperately trying to get past, and I'll identify him in a second. Here's your green car. So the blue and white car on the screen, that is James Connolly from Great Britain. Going round the A main corner now. Now, behind him, that is the 3 car of Marco, moving all the time. It's Mattia Bassi, who's actually is running towards the back. So they are both of a similar speed. A minute or so to go. Still, now looks like it's a bit of a battle between Gerard Collinet and the 4 car. Chances of finding the 4 car are low, but I will give it a go. And Thiron. Okay, the car behind the pink one is the car you want. So the car behind the pink one is Collinet. That's it. So behind Salvin, the Collinet, as you can see, scored top at the moment. He'll drop off when Thiron gets across the line beforehand because he gets an extra lap there. But this is now his leading. Collinet going up the main straight. And straight as a die, he went up there. One of the cars just threw itself into pit lane in a rather abandonable sort of way. And he had this 4 minutes or so of absolute cacophony and noise, and then about a minute of quiet, and then another 4 minutes of warm-up noise, which is slightly different. But they're certainly putting on a show here near Grenoble in the evening sun, and blimey, it's blooming hot evening sun here at 5:30 local time. I had a bit of a trail of hot events. Very hot in Manila, very hot in Austria, and now it's very hot here. It wasn't hot in Le Mans, actually. Le Mans was not hot, so that was okay. So, I must say the 4 car, who's finished. So in the end, Thiron got it, and he got it by 0.3 of a second after being 0.4 of a second faster than the last lap. So Thiron has the lead. Gerard Collinet second, Eric Loge is third, Michael Salvin is 4th. And then we click on to the next heat a bit quickly, but you had a chance to look at the results yourself. That was heat 3. Coming up next is heat 4. Back in a sec. I thought that was going to be something interesting then. Just ask me a question about numbers. Numbers of the heat. So heat 4 about to come out. 7 heats of this A environment. They will do their 4 minutes of warm-up. And at the end of that, we will... My computer's overheating, I've noticed that. Amongst many things that happen, my computer's overheating. So we're getting close to the sharp end. About 10 minutes for each heat. So this is heat 4, 5. Right, when we get to 6 and 8, 7. So we're basically 10 minutes away from the top. And we have Lars Haugen in 1 from Norway. Simon Bergon from France in 2. Alex Thurston from Britain in 3. Well, Alex is so far down. Stefan Riccobono from France in 4. Filippo Domanani from Italy in 5. Guillaume Orengo, from Monaco is in 6th. Christophe Louis is from France in 7. Christophe Pethaud is from Switzerland in 8. Mattia Colavo is from Italy in 9. So they carry on running through their pit action. Some of the net drivers for the next heat are coming out. Only for an ambient mic here, is it? I'm sitting with my Fizzog near a window and it's blimmin' noisy, a bit mildly. So it's Norway, France, Germany, France, Italy, Monaco, France. And then Switzerland and Italy. We're about halfway through the warm-up period. See you, 983. Hello to Pete Vlasopoulos, who says, hello, RC lovers. So this is like a little bit of an hors d'oeuvre, really, for the next 2 days. A amuse-bouche of racing. We are back tomorrow, we think, from 9 o'clock, which should, local, 8 o'clock in UK, which is going to have, I think, 4 rounds of qualifying and then the Super Bowl. So that's going to be a busy day of racing. And then we move to the Saturday, and that's finals all the way. Currently, the B main is due to, so Euro B's Championship is due to go off at 1:30 local time, and the main European Championship final is due off at 2:30. So before that, they'll be qualifying over 4 or 5 rounds. We don't know whether it's gone for yet. We think probably 5. The fastest qualifier gets straight into the main final. The next 4 take part in the Super Bowl. The fastest of which in the Super Bowl also gets a bye into the main final. Then we have, obviously, everything else goes down into the semi-finals. So cars now trundling back into the pit lane. So it'll be Lars Haugen of Norway who'll go out first. And there he goes. So we're with Haugen. You don't actually have to go super fastest first. That's just it literally is a warm-up lap because it isn't counted for anything. But the Norwegian with the white and purple car, giving it a little bit of power. Part of the straight, plenty of smoke from that one. Different levels of smoke from the car. That's one of the smoky ones, so running a bit richer. It means there's a little bit more fuel and oil in the mixture, a little bit less air, so it burns the oil off. Second and third are too close together. I made a little mistake there. So Huygen is ahead. Drop back 1 car to the red and white car of Simon Berloin. In the 2 car, must be very, very close, this. It's the first few laps were designed by 10th of seconds, apart from Filippo Domini, who was Filippo Domini, sorry, who was much quicker than everyone else. But it's Simon Bergman, who with now is setting the pace. Coming through the A main corner, he's got Alex Thurston in the pink car right on his tail. But if you look, you see, even though Alex is right behind him, there are cars that get the premium. So Thurston, not quite to the second or third lap in the pink car, now looks to be edging back towards the whole thing. So he may now have begin to get himself slightly tied up in knots. Just drop back to the pink car to make that the focus through the chicane. Just causing the drivers all sorts of problems for most of the time they've been here. So these two battling away. They're 1 minute and 30 into the 4-minute run. They are first and second now. They managed to dispatch, well, no, I tell a lie, because Matteo Calavo has actually got the overall lead. About 0.3 of a second on lapse time. Quite consistent, 16.5, 16.4, 16.3s. Filippo Domani in the 5 appears to have put in some really good speed. Drop back 1 car, it's the white car. That is the 5 of Filippo. He has the ability to put in the I think he's got the fastest lap so far. Yeah, 16.287. He hasn't managed to put him in anything that's going to help him hopping off the air there, the second part of the chicane. So he goes across this time with that hop. It's a 16.5. So got some pace. This is now getting much, much closer. These guys are all quite close together. The field spread's only about 4 seconds after over 2 and a bit minutes. The pause there before Philippa put the power. You probably hear it here, and then he went for it. So for a big gap behind, I'll drop back one car to the white and gold car, which is quite a bit of a weight. That may be the number 7. Let me just check on that. No, that's the 4 again. So that is the 4 of Stefan Riccobono, who's on a big drop down at the moment, Riccobono, after a long lap. So that's who we're with at the moment. I've read my numbers right. They are actually possible to read these numbers, which you know is a harder and a harder thing as one gets a little bit more experience, shall we say, in life. And actually, take the car went past him. Riccobono has let through the car, I believe is car 7, and it's a cacophony colour on the shell where the numbers are, and it makes it that difficult to read. That is the 7, yeah. So that is the 7 car of Christophe Lewis, running 4th now. And able to gap Riccobono quite easily. So he probably was being held up for a bit through the A-main corner into the broadcast hairpin. And away on the main straight into sweeper. Turns sharp round the inner hairpins and onto the switchback before coming into the masterful chicane. Cars managing there. They were having a lot of problems yesterday, but they're managing to find a way through the chicane. Whether it's the fastest or the safest is the question. I think they're probably at the moment looking to get times on the board. Probably the safest. Simon Burgon still leads. Filippo Domani is 2nd. Alex Thurston's 3rd. The guy we're with, Christophe Lewis, is 4th, and he has got this lap to go. And he's done it. So the results are, if you wait, in fact, Mattia Calava didn't actually get to the end. So it's Simon Burgon who's won that one, 15 laps, 4:06. Alex Thurston is 2nd. Filippo Domanin, isn't it? Sorry, is in 3rd. The Italian. Then the Frenchman Christophe Lewis in 4th. Lars Haugen from Norway in 5. Christophe Pethaud is from Switzerland. He's in 6th. And it's Stefan Riccobono, Mattia Calavo, and Guillem Orengo, who has brought up the tail of that field as we now move to heat 5 of 7 with a very well-known name in it, car 3. Perhaps the most well-known name, certainly the most well-known name in this particular class of RC racing, but it's one of the most well-known names in RC racing. So I'll build up to it slowly. So it's Maxime Ripoll of France in 1. It's Anthony Abasset of France in 2. And it's some bloke called Lamberto Collari in 3. Never heard of him, as they say. So Collari in 3. Gandini in 4. Albert Pico in 5, the engine expert. Arnaud Mathieu in 6. Thomas Itard in 7. Piacente Dante in 8. That's a great name. And Andrea Pirani, another well-known name from Italy, in 9. So France, Italy, 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 France, France, Italy, Italy. So a biracial heat. Just the 2 flags represented in this one. And they go about 3 minutes before they actually start and take the track in anger. Shining Garage Joss. There's a slight strange situation on the MyRCM timing. If you go and look at all the events available, there are 2 listings for this event now, and the listing that's lower on the table is the one that is working, and the one that's higher is not. We don't know why that is. It seems to have picked up, when they resorted things, it picked up a fault. So they put a new version of the race meeting on, and the lower version is the version that works. I take it can work because I'm reading it. So that's the message with Shining Gala Joss. 3 heats to go today. Mladin Sabeki goes, Nicky! Exclamation mark, question mark. Don't know what that means, but I'm sure it's having a lot of fun. Quite a lot of work going on in the pits at the moment, as you can probably see at the front there. I've just passed the table, there's some leaning in. heavy thinking. Weather forecast for tomorrow is more of this weather, blooming hot with a bit of humidity. Saturday's forecast has thunderstorms in it, but I'm not sure those thunderstorms will affect the time of day these races are taking part. So a minute to go of the warm-up here for Heat 5. So Ripoll, Abasset, Kalari, Gandini, Pico, Mathieu, Aitard, Dante and Pirani are your runners and riders for this one, and they'll be underway in about 20 seconds. This is the third best heat based on pre-qualifying, should I say, rather than qualifying. And the very brave starter stands out in the middle of the track. Should be quite safe though. The thing you can hear is one of the cars for the next race, not this race. So one is off and down. That's Maxime Ripoll from France. So Maxime. Now he is taking it slowly. He's not gone hell for leather on the first lap. You know, it doesn't count for anything. And there he goes. And that's starting time for Ripoll. Abasset behind him. Kalari is also locked in. So, oh, that's a bit unfortunate to pick up the edge of the curb. Bit of oversteer moment. Fires it in and round, up away from us again. That first lap of 16.6. Kalari goes straight in with the 16.1. This is Jonathan Gandin, so Kalari's going to be doing the lappery thing quite soon. Lap 2, Kalari 16 flat. So Kalari's a little bit quicker than everyone else in this heat. Drop back 2 cars to the light mauve car. That is your, I think, 9 times world champion and 7 times European Lamberto Kalari, I think. 16.3. No one's posted a 15 yet as the fastest time. So Kalari got within 2 tenths. In fairness, the early pace has disappeared for Kalari, and he's now dropped down to 4th overall. So Albert Pico and Maxime Ripoll who lead. Kalari has now done a 15.9, as has Maxime Ripoll, so they're just picking up a bit of mid-race pace. And Kalari now goes to the top with a second 15 in a row. Ripoll makes 2 mistakes. Ripoll's right out of it, made a big mistake, 2 mistakes in that lap, and a third mistake now, so Ripoll's got problems with the car. So Kalari leads from Pico in 5. Whom I can't see. I'm wondering where Pico is. Oh. Well, the answer to that question is there's 2 cars with number 6 on them. So, now that Pico has the wrong numbers on his car, if you drop back to Ash, and that car there, the white car, second to that has a 6 on its flank. I think he's got a 5 on his nose, he's got a 6 on his flank, so that is Albert Pico. Having a bit of a scrap, or a kind of distractor scrap in many ways, with the 4 machine. I think he's got 6 on the cars everywhere else. The 4 machine of Jonathan Gandon. Pico's got the wrong numbers on his car. I'm not sure whether he's noticed, they've noticed, there'll be any issue about it. Comes through the A main corner and back into the broadcast hairpin. Fires way up the straight. Oh, and now I think it's fair to say that Gandon's actually costing him time. And yeah, Pico's getting annoyed now. Gandon really, at this point, he made the mistake 2 corners back. He should have let Pico past. He's got a lot of more speed to the hairpin as they come round for the last lap. But if I was Albert, I'd be a little bit irritated with Jonathan, to be honest. He does pick up second. Kalari wins on a 15.402. Albert Pico is second. 15.403. Jonathan Gandin, 15.404. 15.404 for Anthony Abaset. Then Piersanti Dante. Arnaud Mathieu, and then a bit of a gap for Maxime Rupert over a couple of laps. Andrea Pirani, who didn't make the trip, and neither Thomas Aitiard. And that ends heat 5 of 7. And they will begin their 2 minutes of faffing about. Sorry, 4 minutes of faffing about, warming up. Sorry, not faffing about. How dare I say that? So while I got a bit of a break, thank you very much to our sponsors, which is Infinity and A Main Hobbies, and thank you to EFRA, which is why we're here. We're RC Racing TV, working with Control on this European Championship coverage. I'm Nick Damon. Camera is Ash Leontine. And all sorts of other clever things have been done by Chris Serkis and Matt McCallum. So building up to the 2 fastest heat. This is one of the 2 fastest heats. So who have we got in it? Number 1, Dominic Greiner, former current world champion. I think get 10th. Could be wrong. Former world champion at 1/10. Off-road, not off-road. I see. Roberto Di Cesare is in 2. Silvia Hackler in 3. 2016 European champion Robin Dont is 4. Francesco Tironi is 5. Roman Picard is 6. Oliver Mack, who won the European Championship in 2015. Is it Mack in 15? Let's see if I'm right or not. Yeah, Mack was 15. Honk was 16. So 2 European champions in this one. And then behind Mack, you've got Mirko Salimi and Jeffrey Reitzeld. So we go Germany, Italy, Switzerland, Belgium, Italy, France, Germany, Italy, the Netherlands is the run of Heat 6, penultimate heat of the day. So Robin de Hont has won the European Championship. Oliver Mack has won the European Championship. Dominic Greiner, I think, is world champion. Was world champion at 1/10, I think. Not always completely correct on all these things. My memory is quite good. But I don't cover the track I see as much as I cover some of the other courses. This is normally a treat to get out and see the cars described as F1 of RC, and they certainly are fast, and they certainly are noisy, and they certainly are interestingly piloted. And through a chicane, there's people hanging on for dear life, and some driving it through quite nicely. So, 2 minutes to go. All I'd say is to Stefan, who has put together the timing as well. So thank you, Stefan. A little bit of a glitch caused by the club earlier. I think the timing probably lost an hour for quite typical when you're trying to get things absolutely correct. I think in the case of trying absolutely correct, there was a little bit of an overthinking. So 9 cars in this race. And a lot of these guys will be surprised not to be in the top heat, but won't mind too much and will be expected to find themselves very comfortably in the main A final come Saturday afternoon at 2:30. But there's a lot of racing between there and now. There's several rounds of qualifying tomorrow for a start. So Greiner, Roberto Di Cesare, Silvio Hackler, Robin Dont, Francesco Tironi, Picard, Romain Picard, Oliver Mack, Mirko Salemi and Jeffrey Reitfeld are the guys who are taking part in this. 9 guys now, just now. Right in the last 25 seconds or so of countdown. All coming back in the pits now, doing their last laps. A couple of them get a kind of sort of brief moment of respite from the noise, a brief moment of noise reduction, not a long moment of noise reduction. A brief bit of noise reduction as they just sit on the idle and just keep things revving enough to not oil up. And they're already up and running. So we are out with Dominic Greiner. All pink machine for the German. He's also someone that you've got those higher heats. They seem to got the idea that you don't have to go super fast in the first 4 corners. So Greiner goes out first, has a nice clean track. And he's already away and scoring. And in fact, what's happened is they've all found a bit of space. They've done a much better job than the F1 car did in Austria last week, that's for sure. They're not falling over each other or throwing other people off, but they all did then back off quite cleverly into space. Greiner's first lap is a 16.1. And then everyone else will follow him around. Oh no, Greiner's made a big early mistake, and that's him probably out of the whole car. He's waited a certain amount. You can just see whether he waits enough or he'll get called for it. He didn't go back where he should have done. Lap time for Greiner. Yeah, he lost a second. He lost 2 seconds nearly, so that'll be fine. Looks like a number of issues for a number of cars has left Hackler sort of in the lead. Yep. So drop back 1 car to the yellow car. Ash, that is Silvio Hackler. Scored as your leader, despite a not particularly fast lap last time. I think he was lapping someone, so... The odd thing is, they all started out, they all gave themselves a bit of space, but it's become a rather trafficky sort of race because a couple of cars aren't pulling their speed they'd expect. They've had a couple of mistakes as well. And in fact, the 2 car, Roberto Di Cesare, has pulled into pit, so he's obviously got a problem, which is why he was falling back so quickly. So is Hackler still ahead of Greiner? I'm sure he is. Tironi now runs in 2nd place. With Salemi taking that over. So plenty of changes. There's the 2 car tries to get everyone's way, but we aim to get in people's way. So 2nd place, where are we at the moment? We're there. Okay, so wait for a second at the bottom corner, Ash. And next car along, this white car going up the straight now with red lettering on the side. That, I think, is Capricorn advertising, I believe. That is the 8th car of Mirko Salimi, who is your 2nd place man once the stagger unwinds. Obviously, people who get across the line first, because they started first, are scored ahead until everyone gets the chance to catch those laps up. Coming through the Infinity chicane onto the main round and back now to broadcast chicane. That's the 8th machine. They'll crop over with a ping up from 6th place up to 4th. So he's now being usurped by Ollie Mack in the 7. So can you go forward one car, Ash? That should be Ollie Mack, former European champion, 2015, in Ettlingen in Germany. Yep, the light green car, so it's a greeny turquoise car, really, isn't it? That is Oliver Mack. That's alternating second, third. Still Sylvia Hackler leading. Francesco Tironi is in second stroke third. The clock ticks round to 6 o'clock. It also ticks down for the drivers. No, it's still 7 to 6, not quite 6, but yeah, but it's down for the drivers, and they will run out on this heat and on their last laps now. So, what can Oliver Mack, our former European champion, do? And the answer is he can move up to third, beating the other European champion, Robert Dont. And he can get in Merco's in between them. So, it is, with just one car more to finish, it's Silvio Hackler who has won this one. Francesco Tironi is second, Oliver Mack is third, Mirko Salimi is fourth, Robin Dont is fifth, Dominic Reiner is sixth, Jeffrey Reitveld is seventh, and Roman Picard is eighth. And looking at that, it was very, very close. Certainly Hackler, I'm sure Tironi beat the time we saw from Lamberto Collari last heat out, but as he got 402, and there's only 402.2, 402.5, 402.4, 401, 401, 402, 402, 403. So yeah, I mean, the first three comfortably passed Collari's time. That's Hackler, Tironi, and Mack. Salimi will have to go and look at the timing sheets, and the rest were a bit slower. So we now are about to welcome the top heat of the day. The stars of the show, in many ways. And you have in 1, Dario Balestre from Italy. In 2, Alessio Mazzeo from Italy. In 3, Robert Pietsch from Germany. Carmine Raiola in 4, Simon Kurzwich in 5, John Ehrman in 6, Timu Linu in 7, Tony Gruber in 8th, Rick Verjank in 9th, and Gilles Groskamp in 10th. So you've got Balestre is a multiple European and world champion. You've got Mazzeo, I think, is one European champion in 10th. Pretty wrong. Bob Pietsch has won 2 of these championships in 10 and 12, 2010 and 2012. Carmelo is Simon Kurzberg, he's the reigning champion, won it in 2018. You've got John Ehrman, you've got Timo Lino, who won the 1/10th IC track championships in Portugal at the back end of last year. Tony Gruber, Rick Verjank, and then Gilles Groskamp, who won this class of racing, I think, in 2013 in Halifax. So lots of European Championship victories here. No European Championship in 2017 because he was a World Championship in the same year. But yeah, so the Hall of Fame. Simon Kurzbach won in 2018, 2016 with Robin Dont, 2015 Oliver Mack, 2014 was Dario Balestre at Kirchberg in Australia, Gilles Groskamp 13, 12 Robert Peach in Germany at Villarreal. And Lamberto Collari, last year's European Championship wins for 2011, so 8 years ago. Robert Peach also won 2010. And then Mr. Vuga, Jay Vuga from Slovenia, who I must admit I don't know, won in 2008. So all of our European champions back to 2008 are here. So we have basically 10 years of champions and a few worldies thrown in. Sky Art Media, hello from Scotland, hello Sky Art Media. Hello Stefanos Placido, hello Dungeon Johnson, hello Anton Stabaka, Mattia Pesanti. Hello, thank you all for coming along. Last heat of the day, I believe. They don't quote me on this because things have been changing by the millisecond. So, a minute and a half to go of the warm-up. Cars settling in. But basically, obviously, one of the key things they need to do is they need to kind of actually wear the tyres in. And by wearing them in, because they've come out of the packet, they've been trued at the factory, and they're sealed, can't get them, so maybe they just need a little bit of running in. Getting them used to the track also helps get yourself used to the track. And you run around for 3 or 4 minutes, come back, pick up a slug of fuel, and then get ready to go for the race itself. So a couple of the cars doing a little bit of engine tuning. So it's I thought the weather's the same. It was hot earlier and still hot now. Nothing's changed on the level of hotness, but obviously maybe humidity change it. Maybe they're running in a new engine and they need to make minor adjustments. Heat and humidity, ambient temp humidity, both dramatically affect the engine tune. So, in we go. So they're all currently sitting there in pit road, and they'll get waved out very quickly by our starter. Here we go. And first out will be Dario Balestre, European champion a couple of years ago, reigning world champion in this class, won in France, just up the road, a couple of years ago. Now, interesting that there wasn't a lot of space being left by Alessio Mazzeo there, and he's just backed out to leave some space. So Balestre now will come round and effectively start this race now, running across the line at absolutely full speed, sweeps round into the EFRA turns, and then back onto the switchback, comes through the chicane and down onto the infinity hairpin, then comes back up and around the A-main curves before into the broadcast chicane. There's the line, and Balestre starts sub 16, 15.995. Carmen Riola was a few hundredths faster, curves a bit slower. So Balestre not scored as first, be happy with that first lap. Second lap, 15.8, so he's got some pace in this thing. Everyone's a little bit quicker, but not many 15s. Riola only a 16.5, so Balestre now doing a little bit of the masterclass thing here. Don't forget, there's a big prize at stake. Top qualifier, straight into the A-main. Next 4 qualifiers go into Super Pole, which is a one-lap shootout time trial type event, which happens tomorrow afternoon. So Balestre continues to lead. That's the end of that though, because he's fallen off the track. So Balestre with a problem, as has the 3 car. That's going to let the 4 car of Carmen Riola into the lead. So we need to try and see if we can pick up the 4 machine. But I think the 4 machine had an error as well. It's very hard to work out what's going on actually. Yes, drop back 1, Ash, to another car that looks exactly the same, another one of the Infinity cars. That's the 4 of Riola. He's now leading this because of the problem Balestre has and dropped him back 2 or 3 seconds falling off the track, and he's let him through, of course, because it's what teammates do. So Balestre's going to have to stick this one down to experience already. 2 cars almost identical, so that's going to be fun later on. So drop back, 2 to the colourful car, the yellow and orange car, because that will be Simon Kurzbuch, your reigning European champion, the Swiss driver. There is Kurzbuch, chasing down the 2 Infinities. Infinitesimal number of Infinities as they go on the Infinity hairpin. So Kurzbuch continues to run second to Riola. Riola has an absolute lead of a massive amount of points, 2800 a second. That's the difference. So Kurzbuch is 2800 a second behind Riola, and visually I think got a bit close that time. Riola did a 15.7. 15.9 and Kersbert with 15.7. So Kersbert now is finding some real pace. And you're watching the fastest laps we've seen turned here today in an official timing. And actually, interesting now, Riola's lost a bit of his pace and is slightly holding out Balestri. So the three ahead of you are 1, 2 and 3 in fact, 1, 2 and 4. And Kersbert takes too much curb really there. So those two cars with white cars flashing ahead there, they are the two Infinity drivers. But Kersbert is leading this round. And the Stacker catches up, he's leading this heat by 0.3 seconds from Riola and 1 second from Alessio Mazzeo. So Kersbert, we've probably been told this, he doesn't need to overtake anybody, but he is now getting inching closer. Now 15.9, best time in 15.6. He has the best individual lap by about 1/10 of a second over Tony Gruber, actually. He's the second best lap. Kersbert. Oh! A bit of a slide out there by the Balestri car. As they now come to the end of that, so this is just completely a lap here on, really. And he's really got Balestri now in his sights. Now, as he grew, interestingly, Riola was going a bit quicker towards the end there, yeah, and he managed to close it right down to 0.2. So Riola, they've actually caught another lap. So there's another lap for Kersbert and another lap for Riola by a couple of tenths, and Riola was going really, really well. I'm wondering whether he might even have got the lead. Oh no, Riola's made a mistake. Riola's come in. Oh, he came in after something. Right, that's an amateur mistake. There was two lines here, and I thought the far line was timing, the short line timing. The timing line is one before pit in, not pit out. So that is Riola didn't make a mistake, didn't affect anything. He still came second. So Kersbert wins. With a 16.4.15. The first two 16s in Riola was also a 16.4.15, 2 tenths back. Alessio Mazzeo is in third with 14 flat. And John Ehrman, who we didn't mention the whole time, but came in fourth. Tony Gruber fifth. Gilles Groskamp sixth. Dario Balestri, after a couple of errors, is seventh. Rick Verjonc is in eighth. And Rob Peach is in ninth. So Peach not enjoying that first run at all. And that appears to be, he says, what we have for you today for qualifying. I say appears to be. I don't want to. You can never tell with the way these things are going at the moment. But it has got quite quiet. So Marshall's going back out again. So I think we are just having the one round today, despite how hot it is. Chris walks back in. Right, so I think that's probably it for today. I think we may well be only giving you kind of a short blast of excitement and fun for you. Let me just see if before we do go away, if I can just give you the overall order at the end of the first round of qualifying, because that will make things a little bit easier in the track A ranking list. No, they've not produced. Okay, here we go. So it's Simon Kersbert won round one. So it's Simon Kersbert from Carmen Riola was second. Alessio Mazzeo was third. Sylvia Hackler was fourth from the penultimate heat. John Irwin was fifth. Francesco Tironi was sixth. Oliver Mack is seventh. Kalari eighth. Ruben ninth. Salimi 10th. Dont 11th. Groskamp 12th. Pico 13th. Dominic Ryan 14th. Balestri 15th. And Rietveld is 16th. So the key point is Kersbert currently has a direct line to the main final, and if we stop today, the four guys in Superpole tomorrow afternoon would be Riola, Mazzeo, Hackler, and Emin. But we aren't going to do that. We aren't going to stop then. But we are going to stop our broadcast for today. Thank you for joining us. Sorry for the delay at the start, completely out of our control. The time we need to be sorted out. We will be back at 9 o'clock local time tomorrow. So that is 8 o'clock in the UK with a very, very, very full day, we think. Several rounds of qualifying and then Super Poles and then possibly finals. But we haven't actually seen the timetable yet, but we will make sure you all know. So follow us and look out for things on Facebook. Look out for things on the web in various places. But until then, I'm Nick Damon. On the camera was Ash Time. Taking pictures is Chris Circus. Desperate to press a button to turn me off now is Matt McCann. I'm not going to let him. And we are RC Racing TV, working with Control for the EFRA European Championship. Thank you to EFRA. Thank you to Infinity. Thank you to Hobbies. See you tomorrow morning.